Welcome to the Community Leader Podcast, where we talk with successful real estate agents from around the country. Plus, we have discussions with servant leaders who have a vision bigger than themselves and how they're helping their community. Now buckle up. We launch in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, it's Johnny Mo. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Community Leaders Podcast, sponsored by Explore My Town. We're going to go to coastal Oregon. We got several people in Oregon, and Macy is, I guess we considered it about 2/3 of the way into Oregon, somewhere around there. Anyways, Macy is a real estate agent out there. Macy McCurdy Jones, welcome.
Thank you.
So what company you with, Macy? Tell us a little bit about you.
So it's McCurdy Jones Properties, brokered by eXp Realty, and we're on right in the middle of the coast. We're halfway down, halfway up, but right here on the coast. I always say it's the best part of the coast because we have all 4 seasons. We have the absolute best weather here and the best community ever here. So, but
of course you would say it's the best. You live there.
Well, I have been to other parts. So when I left I was from out of state, so I'm not, born and raised, but I feel like I've lived here for a long time. It's been 9 years, but I actually moved up to Astoria, Warrenton when I first moved into Oregon.
Yeah.
Similar weather, but very different areas. And I think because of how we are situated here in Coos County, we're kind of pushed in a little bit, but we still, it takes me 10 minutes to get to the ocean. And we have some of the best beaches, but I shouldn't say never. We freeze, but it's very little. Like from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. when you're still sleeping, we get a little bit of a frost, but by the time the sun comes out, it's absolutely beautiful. And the hottest we've ever been in 9 years is 85. And for us, that was hot because everybody's
take that.
It's so hot here.
Yeah, I'll take that. Fat guys like me don't like the heat. Definitely don't like the humidity.
Crazy inland, because everything inland, like I've been into Eugene, I've been into Roseburg, all of those places, and they get extreme weather. Well, of course, everybody flocks to the coast.
Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be on the coast, and that's why you're selling real estate out there on the coast. Yeah. But even coastal communities, big communities, all these other communities around the country, they still have their sense of community.
Yes.
And you're a very strong believer of community and contribution and networking with businesses and your sphere of influence. Tell us a little bit about, what you do or what your beliefs are in that particular area.
Well, and I really wanted to be different in that, we're all in this together. So when we're talking business to business, like one of the first events that I started when I got into real estate full time is I do like a coffee and conversations, go down to local coffee shop, announce a little bit on Facebook, but then when people come in the front door, it's, hey, let me give back to you, enjoy a discount on us, and let's talk real estate. But then it was more of because I get asked all the time, well, you're in that area, you live in that area, what's there to do, where's there to go, the best places to eat, like a source of information. And it kind of gets you out, and it gets me really excited and pumped up every day to go out and film it and introduce the businesses. So one of the very first local business spotlights I did when I first started my YouTube channel about 4 months ago was the local pottery company, because it's the very first place I brought my son into when we first got here. And when I went in to ask her about it, she, of course it was a little bit of shock because, who else is going to introduce? I love it. Let's showcase what this town has to offer, what our community, what our county has to offer, because there's so much here. And whether people are visiting or actually considering coming to live, people need to know.
They do need to know. And I can tell you this, I learn new things every day about my area, and I don't mean just my town, but all the way down to Boston, because I go down there often. But I follow a couple people on Facebook or not on Facebook, but on TikTok and stuff. It's like, wow, I didn't know this place has been there for 50 years. I got to why did I not know about that place? Right. Or, oh, wow, this place looks pretty cool and eclectic. I didn't realize that this place existed. Let's go check out that place.
Right.
So there's not only just reaching out to, and I think it's important for real estate agents to be advocates, proponents for where they live, but B, you got to sell the sizzle, man. You got to sell the lifestyle, let people know what life is like there. You like it there, right?
I love it here. Like
Right.
my husband and I have talked about, okay, if we were to ever move anywhere, like, well, that might be good, but we really like it here. Well, that might be good, but we love it here.
Mhm.
You love it here.
Yeah.
It's the
And
sense
you
of
gotta
peace.
tell that story to people,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
I think it's really important. I mean, you've been doing real estate for how long at this point?
4 years.
So you've been doing real estate for 4 years. You are working in the community, building a network in the community, networking in the community, however we want to say it.
Yes,
You're a strong proponent of sphere of influence.
yes,
Um, when there's two things about social media, there's two things about video and social media is that you're by telling a story, your sphere of influence, your past clients, those types of people are seeing you.
yes,
And we have a history or a reputation for dropping the ball with our past clients in our sphere.
yes, and I'm
Somebody asked me
guilty
a
of that.
question today.
Yep.
How many homes, how many, the average person, how many people do they know that will buy a house this year? Is it between 8 and 16? I said, that sounds logical. If you're not staying in touch with your past clients in your sphere, you're missing huge mammoth opportunities, right?
Right.
But it serves two purposes. You get to stay front and center with your past clients, your sphere of influence, and you get to be present to other people that are looking for that area. So it hits two
Absolutely.
stones at once.
Yes. Yes.
Out of your business that you have done over the past 4 years, what percentage would you say would have been sphere of influence, past clients, those kind of things, or from your networking?
I think probably about 50-50. A lot of mine, just I talk a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I gotta learn to, but when I get out and let people know, hey, this is what I'm doing, because I'm a little different. I'm not your, you
We're
know,
all different.
I'm not the normal, but I'm passionate about what I do. I get excited about because it's not just handing somebody the keys to their home, which to me is ultimately exciting because I bought my first home 2 years ago when my husband deployed. And a huge dream of mine to own my own home because I've always rented. And to me, that's an exciting day to hand them their keys.
Mhm.
But it's really, really, really awesome when they can turn around and say, "Hey, you wanna work with her?" Because it's not just about handing you your keys and walking off and leaving. I really care. Like, I really, really, truly care about my clients. I wanna make sure, because with a home comes responsibilities. You have to have a good general contractor. You have to have a good, electrician, a plumber, um, where do you go in the community? Like so many people say, where do we go to take our animals when they get sick? Where do we go, like, you know, our nails? Where do you get your hair done? I'm a little different with my hair. Where do you get your hair done? And I've been to good and I've been to bad, and it's amazing that for me, I just can't wait to tell people. And then there's the whole other side of investment properties and the things I've been able to like educate my veterans on because my husband is military, and being involved in our veteran community and letting them know, hey, VA offers investment properties, and people look at me and go, really, they do? Like, there's so much information to share, and the other good thing that I love about especially getting out in the community is letting people know, because not every area is the cup of tea for everybody. And
Mhm.
I like to let people know. So a lot of my videos when I started my YouTube was my favorite things and my not so favorite things, because again, not every place is perfect. Not every place is a good fit for everybody. And if I can be a good source of referral to another agent in another town that I have vetted, because I need to make sure who I'm sending you to is
Sure.
also going to give you the level of service that I would expect to have as a client. I need to make sure that, I'm sending people out to the right people to work with as well. So it's a whole thing, but I tell everybody all the time, I'm not just here to hand you your keys and walk away and be done with it, because when I first started, that's what I did. And now 4 years later, I'm like, I want it to be so different for our community. I want to be a really valuable source of information for anybody either moving here or moving away from here.
And I think every agent should strive for that. I personally do. And I'm not just saying this because you said it. I do believe each agent should strive to be a community connector, a community influencer, a knowledgeable person in the community, because it is more, unfortunately, many may treat it as an income, right?
Right.
And as you see on our thing, it says impact over income. And I believe in impact over income. You make a big enough impact, the income's going to just follow. That's just the law, right?
Right.
That's universal law, so it's going to happen. Zig Ziglar told us so, right? I probably
Yeah.
mentioned Zig Ziglar in every podcast, but
Yes.
help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. So
Yeah.
here you are, you kind of found yourself a little niche. You got the VA going on, VA investments. You're networking in your community. It's okay. You don't shut up, because I think in some respects we do need to stand up on the soapbox and say, this is what I do,
Right.
and I'm damn good at it.
Well, I'm good at
Right?
it. I've learned a lot. I've been that new agent that, of course, came into it not knowing anything and kind of had to learn the hard knocks, but then getting out of that, because I don't think inside boxes. I like to think outside boxes and don't tell me no. And so when I can go talk to other businesses, hey, what do you have to offer? What can I tell people about you?
Yeah.
What do you have to offer, so that when somebody says, where do we go for this, or where do we find that, what can I tell them? To me, that's exciting, because then too, hey, I'm a small business in this area too. If they need real estate, they can come ask me, because it's not just about, hey, let's sign on the dotted line. Let me be a source of information for you. Let me show you, let me guide you.
Yeah, and I think that's important. And I do think that every real estate agent should have an amazing Rolodex of
Yes.
professionals. And that's all the way down to CPAs, tax. You need to get out of tax. You need to fight the IRS. I got the guy for that. You want books? I got the guy for that. You
Right.
need an accountant? I got the guy for that too, right? They're all different, even though they're all in the same area. So to have those contractors and professionals and things like that, it's really important that we keep a Rolodex. Again, many people are transactional, and what you're talking about is building a relationship with somebody, being
Yes.
professional, building a relationship with somebody, and being a valued friend.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that is so much, because at the core of what we do, I'll say this every podcast too, at the core of what we do is the relationship. It's not the sale. The sale comes from the relationship, and the more relationships you have, the stronger those relationships are, the more income you're going to make. Right? The more
Absolutely.
income you're going to make, the more people value you because you bring value. If you're not bringing value, then you're a taker. Right?
Yeah.
If I'm not bringing value to you, then I'm seeking something in return. Right?
Yes.
Maybe there's some caveats to that and everything else like that. But when you look at agents on social media and it's like, sold another home, who can I help? Need 5 more buyers. It's always about you. It's always about the transaction.
Right.
What you're doing, you're reaching out to business owners saying, how can I help you?
Yes.
How can I get your name out there? And
Yes.
as a result, that's working for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and not just from a business standpoint, but educating me, because when I started doing this and I started being like, okay, I don't know how to answer that, but I'm going to go find out. And I got out into the community. So many of the businesses, and I live here, and I didn't know. Like, I would go in and find out, I'm like, how come I didn't know this? Like, when I went into the escape room in the mall, and I'm like, there's so much, like, I didn't know that they had the mall has hours. And I'm like, well, how do you get in here? Well, we have a back door that you can come in and come in after hours. I'm like, how did I not know this? So
Right.
I'm getting educated too, which is exciting, because then I can say, hey, guess what? I just found out. So it's really fun. And it's even more exciting too, because being a homeowner, one of the things I ran into as a new homeowner and a real estate agent was that you have things on your house you have to fix. You have things on your house that you're responsible for.
Always.
Always. Always. And I couldn't find anybody. I had nobody to fix it. All of the good ones were booked out, and some of them wouldn't return a phone call. So I'm like, I need to find them. I need to partner with them. I need to know that when somebody comes to me and says, hey, I'm going to buy this house, but now who do I use? Well,
Mhm.
who's licensed, who's bonded, who's legal, and who's good? And that's been huge because now I can go on location and start filming these jobs and show the befores and afters, because my 2 favorite home days are demo day, because I love picking up those hammers and helping tear it down, and then reveal day, and here's the finished product.
Yeah.
And it's good, and it's quality, and it's done by somebody reliable and dependable. 'Cause it's
That's
hard
what we
to
like. We like the reliability. We like good
yeah,
people doing good work, because when you give your when you give somebody a recommendation or a referral, it's your word,
yes,
right? And I make sure that
yes,
when I'm working with somebody, listen, don't let it get back to me that you screwed them over, you didn't show up, you took their deposit, any of that stuff happened, I'm done with you. You know?
exactly,
And I always
exactly.
follow up. Hey,
Yep,
Bob and Mary, how'd the roof go with Paul? Oh, he
yes,
was great. Okay, excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
yes,
Right. Yeah,
yes,
I think it's really important that us as real estate agents do that. And I don't know how many who do. I know a whole bunch who don't, right?
me
And
too.
I know a bunch that drop the ball with their past clients, and we should be reaching out to our past clients. You know, some people will say 32, 36 times throughout the year or whatever for various different reasons, including emails, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is those newsletters are always the same, blah, right? It's always,
Yes,
oh, the market this, the market that. Where I find the most engaging content with people is, especially for real estate agents, the most engaging content that you can send your clients have nothing to do with real estate.
right,
So when
right.
you can take these videos of before and afters, when you can take these videos of the breakout room there, the mystery room, whatever they're called, right?
Yeah, the
The
escape
lockup
room.
rooms and stuff like that, and you can send that to your client through a video newsletter or a newsletter that has a video in it.
Right,
You're bringing value to them, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't even realize this. Hey, I did a video on the breakout room last year, here it is. Did you realize that they're giving 2-for-1s on Tuesdays only for the month of May? Boom, you send that out. Oh,
right.
but right, and then a little, oh, by the way, what's your home's worth? Hey, here's the monthly market snapshot. Boom.
Yeah,
Right, it's a lot more than just saying, hey, how great I am of a real estate agent and I need more listings.
right.
Right.
Exactly. Well, and even some of them too, getting into the legal side of it, I've been as a homeowner too,
Mm-hmm.
doing my will, my power of attorney, all of
Yeah.
those legal documents that you don't think about because, the conversation gets uncomfortable. But in learning probate and all that stuff, I've been reaching out and letting people know, hey, this is important.
Mm-hmm.
I had to deal with it with my mom last year when my mom passed away. And what a big difference when I got everything in writing, went through the right attorney, got all the right advice for not much money. And I had to let people know, "Hey, be aware of this when you own a home, you need to know this stuff."
You do, and man, I'll tell you what, you just hit on something that I used to train on often. It was pivotal to when I first got into the business, there was no Facebook,
Right,
right? There was no Zillow. These things they didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist. Nothing existed. It was all in person, right?
yes,
And one of the most popular events that we ever have done was the wills and trusts. At
yes,
that point, they were going from a 3 to a 5 year look back period. But everything you need to know about wills and trusts from the mortgage standpoint, the financial advisor, and the estate attorney was there,
yep,
right? We'd pack the room 100 people. You can make that series online now and
yes,
hit, and it lives on forever. We used to have a big to do, send out invitations. Oh, who's coming, who's not? Do it once, twice a year. Now you can do it all online and make it automated and send that out as an informational series. Hey, here's part one of my 5-part wills and trust and protecting your assets.
right.
Because my mother passed away 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm,
She asked me when she was alive, do you want to be the executor? And I said, no, I want to deal with that, Mom. Make Cheryl, she's the oldest.
right, right,
Put the Sarge in charge. That's because my sister's a sergeant major. I always say, put the Sarge in charge, right?
right,
She'll handle it, but she's the oldest, and whatever. That was just the proper thing to do. But my mother had certain documents in place and everything that made parts of the process easier, but she didn't have a trust. If she had
mm,
a trust, it would have been, well, we're just moving on.
Right.
We don't need anybody's approval per se, right? We're
Right.
just moving on. So having these conversations with your past clients, you can make a series out there for everybody to see. You can put it onto your website as blogs,
Yes.
part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, whatever it is. Now you also have some valuable content to send out to your sphere of influence, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
your estate attorney and financial advisor are going to love you because there's referrals,
Right.
right?
And it's
And I
needed. It's actually something that's like, it is so important. Like, it
Yeah,
is so important.
yeah. I think it is, and it's beneficial, right?
Yes.
It's beneficial and it's important because they got enough money down in DC. We don't need them picking pockets, this way with a trust. There's definitely those benefits, but
Right.
it's so amazing because I do believe that my power circle, mortgage person, financial advisor, the real estate person, insurance, and an attorney of some sort. State attorneys work well. Should be and the estate attorney and financial planner are working like this, right? Or they
Yes.
should be. But you are able to build your power circle. And I have always had an expectation that I would receive 4 referrals that close from you, from you per year. That's 1 per quarter. That's not asking for too much.
Right.
That was 16 transactions, right?
Right.
In my
Right.
area, 16 transactions is pretty good. I just need to get another 10 on my own, and I'd get another 10 on my own, right?
Right.
But that expectation's there. Doing activities like this amplify that. Unlike going to a networking meeting where it's you get your 1 minute or 30 seconds. Hi, I'm Johnny Moe with XYZ Real Estate, and I have a referral. They're
Right.
tired. This is
Right.
2020. Let's
Yes.
do video. Let's tell stories. Let's have fun. Let's make bloopers and tell everybody all about it, right?
Yes.
But let's bring value. And there's no way social media and video and digital assets are the best way to deliver these messages in this day and age. So my hat's off to you for out there doing it.
Thanks. It's fun. It's sometimes I gotta calm it down because it gets addicting because I just wanna go hit all the businesses today and get it all done tomorrow. So
Yeah.
gotta pace
Don't
myself, but it's so much fun sharing it and having
pace
people listen
yourself.
to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you mentioned earlier about some pitfalls and different things that you've encountered, and I wouldn't do it that way again, or that. Give. I mean, you're still relatively new in the
Oh,
business,
yeah.
4 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the pitfalls? Because some of the people that listen to this might just be getting into the business. Listen, some of these pitfalls that you mentioned, people who've been in 20 years will confront too, right?
Right.
It's just the way that it is. So what
Right.
are some of the pitfalls that you would avoid going forward that or you wouldn't want to redo?
Well, I mean, as far as, like, it's just starting as a real estate agent, of course, picking the right brokerage. You
Mhm,
know, when I started the brokerage that I started with was more of a verbal commitment, but really do research on that. Because to get with the right people and the right circle of people around you for support.
mhm,
Um, but as far as doing my like when I first started, I had no clue. Like for me, as a new agent, and I understand you're excited. It's a whole new because what you learn in school is nothing to do with what you actually do out in the field and as a real estate agent. I feel bad for my old clients, but also look at it as, was that me? Because that's not me today.
yeah.
And it's just so exciting for me. Like I remember my very, very, very first video for YouTube when everybody's like, "Oh, just get on your camera and hit record." I'm like, "Okay." Like what do I say? So it was a minute, I think it was a minute and 20-second video in my Jeep sitting in my driveway like, I'm going to just start this. And now, like, that video gets a lot of attention, and I'm like, it didn't have a whole lot, but it took down the wall for me of the comfort zone of what do I look like? What if this is wrong? What if people aren't judging you on video? They want the information you're giving.
Hmm.
And the more I feel for me, the more educated I get and the more authentic I become, and as I continue to do each video and I get more creative, I stop and think first and foremost, me being the person looking at the video, what information do I want? And I've been able to step out of the feeling uncomfortable in front of the camera because I feel like I'm just talking to my clients. If it were somebody calling me saying, "Hey, what do you think about this?" They don't, I mean, I guess they necessarily care if you're wearing your sweats today, but they can't see me half the time. When you're on video, and I've had videos where I'm like, my hair's messy and I'm like, whatever, this is me. And this is, for me, it's mostly about the information. And if
Yeah.
you're being authentic and you're doing it for the right reasons,
That's
people
the key. You just said
flow.
the dirty A word, authentic. Be authentic, right?
Yep.
And we deal with something, and I'll break it down. KFT, right? Knowledge, fair time.
Yes.
Fear is a son of a gun. It will keep you from doing anything, right?
Right.
I wrote an article several years ago. I reposted it sometime this week about using fear as a fuel because successful
Yes.
people internalize fear differently, right?
Yes.
Fear will hold you back, but it will also set you free when you step through it. You have to step through it. And
Yes.
people are worried about what to say. People are worried about what others think they will look like. And that is a killer of life. I don't give a crap what people think.
And
Not in that. I mean, if you don't like that my hat's dirty, if you don't like that I got a beard, if you don't like I got cat hair on me, that's not my problem, right? I don't care. I don't carry the weight of other people's opinions. I do care
right.
what they think of me and my character, and that's why we stay in integrity and we do what we do with the charities and stuff like that because that is the real me. But I don't care if somebody likes the way that I look. I don't care. There are trolls everywhere,
Yes.
man. There's trolls everywhere. So it doesn't matter how hard you try, somebody's not going to be happy enough.
Correct.
So get over that right now. The only person that really cares about how you look is you,
Right.
right? Is you. Some people may snicker. That's the way that it is. Block them. Block them.
Well, and I just kind of look at it now as they're missing out because the information I have is more valuable than what I look like today.
Right. And
And if
that's what
you're
they
like
want
the
is
fact
the
that I shaved
information.
my head yesterday and you're not going to listen because of that, you're missing out.
Yeah.
But
I would tell a story about the scrape.
yeah,
Open up. My God, yesterday I was da 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 da, and I came up and I hit my head, and because I don't have any hair, of course I had to cut myself. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, right?
right.
Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun with that.
Well, and the
This is
great thing too that you overcome, or at least I'm glad I've overcome, and the peace I have with it is from the beginning of becoming an agent till now, is the idea in the sense of peace that I have that I don't care what people think of me. You're gonna get authenticity, you're gonna get ethical, you're gonna get the real deal, and if you want the information I have, I'm gonna give it to you and take it and run with it or leave it and come back next time for something else. But it's
yeah.
authentic and it's real, it's truthful, it's honest, and I'm
Can
here
I,
to give you whatever I can because if it were me, again, I try and put myself in that situation of being the client of what would I want. I
mhm.
don't go out and judge other people in the way that they're looking and the way that they're handling stuff because every person's got a story. Every one of us has a story, and I bet you that person's story is pretty awesome. And yet we're judging them by judging by the book of the cover, cover of the book.
Mhm.
But knowing that you're going to get authentic, truthful, and I'm going to give you what I would expect and nothing less.
Perfect. Then that's the way to do it. That is 100% the way to do it. We're running down on time here, so let me ask you. We're going to do two things. I'm going to ask you the two final questions, which is, what's a piece of advice that you could give to an agent out there right now to impact their business in a positive way, and then how we contact you and how we find you. But we can ask that one second.
Yeah, so get over yourself. Be in the authentic you want to do for your clients, not for yourself. This isn't about you. This is about them. What can you do for them?
Mhm.
Be in the giving mode, not in the taking mode.
I
And
love it.
it's what we're about. We're about giving a great service to all of our clients. And if you're about taking, you're not giving. Um,
100%.
and to contact me, my number is 541-294-2003, or you can email me at mjonesmacy@gmail.com.
Macie, Macie.
Yes.
Awesome. Listen, I appreciate you taking the
appreciate
time
you.
out to come on to this podcast and listen, and share your story and some pieces of information and stuff like that. I do appreciate you. If you're listening to this podcast and you want more conversation like this on Facebook, find our group. And that's all we talk about is the community. We talk about video, we talk about social media, networking, sphere of influence, all that good stuff on how to grow a network. I like to call them communities of high value. And we do believe in impact over income. So come join us. We're the Real Estate Community Leaders on Facebook. It's just Facebook/groups/community leaders. You'll find us. Come over and let's have some honest, real conversation about how to impact your business in this day and age of the digital and social world. Macy, I want to thank you for your time, everybody. On behalf of Explore My Town, thank you.
Thank you.